New One Punch Man chapter just came out. 12 out of 10. That's it. That's the review. See ya. Come on, we ain't gonna end the review like that. This chapter was insane, dude. Blast comes back. Garou's going ham. There's like some cosmic Marvel Avengers war going out in space, and Blast is a part of it. And God is trying to give his power to Tatsumaki, and Garou versus Platinum S and Flashy Flash. Ah! There's so much to talk about. It's probably gonna be like a 30-minute video because this chapter was just insane. Let's start off with this gorgeous cover page. Powers crossing each other. Who is the one that will reach his back? So we got Flashy Flash, Platinum S, and Monster Garou, Awakened Garou. As we saw at the end of the last chapter, they're all fighting in this crazy, like, top 3 speedsters in the world, all going at it, and it's been insane. Now, this fight is going to come to a conclusion in this chapter, but I just want to appreciate this cover art because we get a lot of respect for Flashy Flash in the last chapter. He's going toe-to-toe with 2 above dragon level monsters without even his weapon, and he seemed to be like on par with them, which is absolutely crazy. So, as I said after the last chapter, like, I think this pretty much puts Flashy Flash like in rank 3, in my opinion. Like, if he's able to beat or at least match with Garou and Platinum S, which even Silver Fang couldn't do, and he's number 3, without his sword, in my opinion, he's definitely number 3 and not rank 13. I think the ranks need to shift around quite a bit. And the first few pages are just gonna continue this crazy high-speed Ultra Instinct battle between all of these characters. Platinum S, Flashy Flash, and Monster Garou are all like teleporting around on these rocks in the air, clashing so fast that it just looks like this laser beam of constellations in the sky. And Flashy Flash is panicking and sweating because he's like, this can't be. I just met today 4 people who surpassed my speed. And he's always thought that he was the fastest in the world. He eventually saw that Saitama, you know, he pretty much knows Saitama's secret at this point. Blast, when he met Blast, teleported behind him and beat his fastest kick. We've seen Platinum S and Garou now, who seem to be like getting stronger as the fight is progressing, and Flashy Flash is not doing too hot here. And so what we're seeing here is above Flashy Flash is like really the true powerhouses of the One Punch Man universe so far. Now Flashy Flash is doing everything he can in this battle, in this war. He uses Flash Fist. He's like just like exploding everything with crazy speed, teleporting around, and he's able to like land hits on Platinum S. I don't know how much it's damaging him, but you can see here that he actually is punching Platinum S in the face, so he's still doing damage. He is keeping up. Like, he's not just defending or anything. He's on the offense too. And of course, we gotta hand it to Murata in this chapter. I mean, the drawings and the combat are just on a whole other level. He tweeted out something like, "I drew to my heart's content," and dude, hats off. If I had one, I mean, honestly, like, the art is just so insane in this chapter, and in every chapter. Platinum S uses Platinum Rings, unscrupulous rotating defense, and I guess so he can just whip his like head tail thing around and create just some like ultimate defense. He's able to catch Flashy Flash's wrist, saying that this is the level a mere human can reach, and then he kicks Flashy Flash away. But Flashy Flash isn't done yet, coming in with flowing shadow feet, and all these attacks that he's doing are just like basically like light speed attacks. And we've seen him, he doesn't need his sword, he does crazy things with his kicks, and as we've seen in this chapter, he can punch too. But then Garou flies in out of nowhere, and they connect, flowing shadow feet versus, I guess, Godslayer Fist. I love the way Murata drew this, how you can see like the energy kind of wrapping around each other from these characters. Like, even though they're physical attacks, you can just kind of feel like that power and energy like coming from them, and how that power is interacting with each other. Just absolutely stunning artwork. And even though they connected and neutralized their attacks, Platinum S comes in and kicks Flashy Flash super hard in the face. He's spitting up blood and everything. And Platinum S is saying, "You're so full of openings, is there something wrong with your spirit?" Just like Darkshine, when you're outclassed by someone in your specialty, you abandon your duties and put all your effort into protecting your pride. That's what being a hero is all about, right? A being who truly wants to help the weak. And so yeah, what he's saying is Flashy Flash is basically succumbing to the same kind of mental fortitude break that Darkshine had, where they didn't think they could ever really lose. They didn't think, like, Flashy Flash never thought there'd be someone faster than him. And so as this is happening to them, and they're seeing that there's people stronger and faster, they kind of just like want to hold on to their pride so much that they're sacrificing their job, which is to protect the weak, or destroy the villain in general. They're just trying to protect that complex in their head that they are the best, because without that, they just become weakened by self-consciousness. And with that, Platinum S knocks Flashy Flash really, really hard. You can feel the damage and the torque from this punch. I mean, it looks like Flashy Flash's whole body is just twisting as he slams into the ground, coughs up some blood, and I think that's the end for him. So I'm pretty sure for the rest of the arc, he's gonna be out for the count. So now we just have Garou and Platinum S. So anyways, I just want to clap for Flashy Flash. My man put in some real work, way more than a lot of the other S rank heroes in this fight. He showed true strength, not so much resilience, but like, I mean, he was able to go toe to toe with Platinum S and Garou, who could easily take out any other S rank hero pretty much by themselves without a problem. And he's able to go toe to toe with both of them. So maybe if he had his sword, man, if he had the Sun Sword, bro, maybe he'll get the Moon Sword. Since Atomic Samurai got the Sun Sword and Flashy Flash's weapon insta-kill is broken, maybe he'll get the Moon Sword, which would be absolutely insane. I would love that. He needs a power-up, in my opinion. I mean, he's powerful enough, but I love him. I love his character so much. I'd love to give him the Moon Sword. Garou and Platinum S clash. They go at it. Garou just immediately flies to Platinum S and they clash, and he says, now it's just you and me. And the thing about Garou we see in this chapter is, even though he's in control of himself, like mentally now, he still just can't stop attacking. Like, he's in this pure berserker state where whenever he sees a target, he just immediately goes for kill. He's just like in kill mode. And it doesn't really seem like he can break that, with the exception of Silverfang. Because we'll see that again later in this chapter as we get a brand new Centipede monster that's even stronger than Elder Centipede, who only lost to Blast and Saitama. So this new Centipede thing is gonna go up against Garou, but we'll get to that in a few pages here. Okay, so they continue their like crazy light speed battle where they're attacking, clashing, and flying around so fast that it's creating these constellations of light energy, like light beams in the sky and everything. It says they traced out a structure even more dense than the three lights did. So yeah, these guys are absolutely moving in light speed, Ultra Instinct style, and they're flying so fast that you can like visibly just see the trails in the sky and everything. I love the way Murata is depicting this. You know, he pulls out of the scale of the shot, so you can see like how many attacks and damage is going on. You can see the earth and the craters from this cataclysmic apocalyptic battle that's been going on. And in the top left corner, he doesn't forget the moon with that eerie ripple, and because God is coming in this chapter as well, which we're gonna get to in just a second. So here it's saying accelerating forever, just like Garou's synapses. So that crazy constellation light tornado that's going on in the battlefield is getting faster and more because Garou is just, because he's in this like kill mode, he's continually evolving as the fight progresses in both speed, strength, and technique. So while someone like Flashy Flash and Platinum S were very, very strong to begin with, Garou is really the only one in this battlefield that is continually improving every second of combat, which means ultimately he will be the victor. Finally, Garou, with this increased speed that he keeps getting, lands a devastating, crushing blow on Platinum S and sends him skyrocketing down into the earth. It seems like he follows him down and then like hits him again right before he lands on the ground and hits him into the ground even harder, and you get this crazy pose from Garou. I absolutely love this, how Murata, he just knows what's cool. You know, it's like the way that this dude draws is just straight badass. Like, you cannot deny it. The posing, the dark like shading and everything, the way he makes the eyes glow, it just like emanates badassery, and you can't help but love this character. Like, after seeing these drawings and the way Garou acts, like you can't help but love Garou. So Platinum S bursts out of the ground and he is pissed. And I really love, again, the way Murata depicted this, how he just explodes out of the ground, there's blood, he's got tons of damage. That's one of the things that I really love about the One Punch Man manga and how Murata draws it, is he really depicts damage. And that's like one of the more satisfying things from watching an anime or reading a manga, because it gets like very frustrating when a battle's been going on for a really long time and the character has like, you know, 3 little scratches on his face, and it's like you can't tell like how much damage they have. But if you look at Platinum S here, I mean, he's just like, he's screaming blood, like, you know, you can tell that this guy is on his last limb, and Garou steals his move, saying, "Let me pass through for a second," exploding through, just rocketing through Platinum S at light speed. And look at Platinum S's face, dude. I love this page, this double page from Murata. Again, you can't help but turn the page here and just freak out because it's so damn clean, bro. Like, look at this, dude. Again, Garou is amazing. I have been saying this for years, ever since season 2 of the One Punch Man anime aired. I said, look out for Garou. He's gonna become one of your favorite characters, if not your favorite. The development of the character is amazing. His poses, the way he acts, like how strong he gets, just everything about him is so like well written and just cool. And that's one of the things about the One Punch Man manga. It's not all about Saitama. Like some of these other characters, it's so easy to fall in love with them and their stories and the way they fight and everything. That like look Blast, and which we're gonna see in a second, and Garou, Tatsumaki, Fubuki, King. There's so many fun, great characters in this story. So he says, let me pass through for a second, copying his move, and then just explodes with a roar, and Platinum S is dead, I think. So you see all these sparkles, light energy, you see an arm flying off there. It looks like Garou just in one strike erased Platinum S from existence. And that is like, yes! Like, yes! that's how we want to see it happen, right? Like, let's see some crazy finishing move and explode someone and kill them. Like, that's what fans love, dude. Like, how can you not love this? This is incredible. And look at the art. Look at how satisfying that is after all this build up with Platinum S, how Flashy Flash went down and now Platinum S went down and Garou is the victor. Now, let's get to the really, really spicy part of this chapter. We see Blast. You flip the page and you're like, oh, Blast, like what's going on? So my first thought here is that this is like a flashback as Blast is reaching his hand out to the Tatsumaki who is about to pass out. She's so out of energy and so beat up. And he says, come take my power. We can strike down your enemies together. So Tatsumaki's like looking up at him. And my first thought was, this is like, did Blast give Tatsumaki her powers? But no, she sees this Blast offering her power and she remembers what Blast said to her when he rescued her from that installation, that prison, whatever, with like monsters in it. He said, when the time comes, don't go expecting someone to come save you. So she's like, who are you? Blast would never offer his power to anyone, especially not me, because what he told me back in the day was that like I have to trust in my own strength. So she says, who are you? Get this crazy, like creepy silhouette of Blast. And then you see this. And then you see this, dude. I was like, oh my God. When I looked at this, I mean, I was like reading the chapter and I was like, is Blast God? Like, what is happening? But we'll explain it in a second. But this picture is so damn creepy. This has got to be the thumbnail. Oh my God. So it's Blast with God's face on it. It just looks so menacing and evil, and just the art is mind-blowing, man. I don't know what else to say. The art is completely freaking mind-blowing. And then we see Blast start to evaporate up into the sky where the moon is, where God is. And now there's no more Blast next to her, or that was God, but then a black hole appears, and now Blast is next to her, and he's like Tatsumaki. So she's laid out, she's passed out at this point, I guess. And he says with a surprised face, you resisted it, you sure have grown. And she's now unconscious with a smile on her face. That's when we get this very comical exchange between Blast and King, and Genos has never seen Blast either, so Genos laying there without any limbs or anything, he turns his head, he sees Blast. We get an explanation as to what exactly is going on with God, Blast, and Tatsumaki. So he says, we managed to hold that thing off at the brink, but I allowed it to come in contact with her directly while we had slipped into a cleft in time due to the cube's effects. So what he's saying is, when Saitama picked up the cube and God started to speak to them, and then Blast arrived, he told them that they were in some kind of like pocket dimension almost where time moved differently, and then he teleported them all out of there. But because the cube acts as a receptor, allowing God to basically like communicate with humans and try and grant them power, even though Blast took the cube and teleported Saitama and Flashy Flash out of there, it was enough time for God to start granting people power and try to give Tatsumaki God's power. And she would be crazy strong if she got it, but she knew that Blast would never, like, so there's lots to talk about here, because you also got to remember that like God is trying to give Tatsumaki power like in Blast's body. And why is he doing that? Is that because like he can see into their mind? He knows like what their desires are, or like what's they're thinking, or what their biggest fear is? Maybe he manipulates people based on that. Is he using Blast as a vessel, or his body as like an imagery vessel to grant people power in certain situations? So there's a lot of questions here that can develop from this alone. Why is God using Blast's body to try and grant Tatsumaki power? Is that because he's the person she's most familiar with? I'm guessing that's what it is. And why hasn't God tried to give Garou power? I think eventually in this arc, God is going to grant Garou power during the battle with Saitama. Okay, so Blast says to King, I'll leave Tatsumaki with you. I've got to head back and provide backup. And King's like, what backup? And then we get the craziest panel, so much to talk about here. He's saying, I'm not fighting alone out there, you know. And we get like the literal Avengers, like the Blast is like actually a Marvel Avenger out there fighting Thanos with the other Avengers. And it appears that God is the enemy. Now, my interpretation is there's multiple gods throughout the universe, and there's multiple Blasts, like not Blast himself, but characters that have similar powers to Blast or similar strength, maybe the strongest people on their home planet, that are doing the exact same thing as Blast is, going around their planet, finding the cubes, fending off God, and probably fighting any monsters that have been granted and converted power by God. So there's some cosmic intergalactic God versus Avengers battle going on there in the One Punch Man universe. I mean, this is a crazy huge revelation, and I'm gonna have a whole video on this tomorrow, I promise, because I want to dive in and talk about this so bad. There's just so much, I can make a whole video on it alone. So let's continue. Look out for the video tomorrow. Okay, and then in a flash of light, a star of light, Blast just disappears. So I guess what happened here is when Saitama and Flashy Flash picked up the cube, spoke to God, Blast teleported them out. He must have teleported them onto the battlefield and then teleported back to the Galactic War, and then teleported back to Earth to check on Tatsumaki because maybe he felt the presence of God trying to interact with Tatsumaki or something. Like somehow he knows, like that's why he arrived when Saitama picked up the cube, right? So he's connected to God somehow. Like he can almost like feel when God is trying to grant people power, I guess. Like otherwise, why would he have just temporarily, maybe it was coincidence. Maybe we just wanted to temporarily come back and check in on Tatsumaki, but I don't feel like he would do that. He told her that, you know, she has to rely on her own power. So why did he come back? He must have felt God's presence or something and came back immediately. Like it appears that he's teleporting all around the universe, fending off God's wish granting or whatever. Like there's so much theory crafting that can go on here, but he just teleports back to the war, wherever the hell that is. Okay, and then all of a sudden, we saw, I think it was at the end of the last chapter, this tail that looked like Orochi's tail or Elder Centipede. And it appears that this is a new centipede called Sage Centipede bursts out of the ground. Now, Elder Centipede was insanely strong. Blast was the only one that could hurt it, and Saitama destroyed it in one punch. But nobody else could really do much. I mean, Bang and Bomb with their combined attack, like, cracked its outer shell, but it just like molded it off or whatever, and then it was fine. So they were pretty much screwed, and Saitama saved the day. So this thing is, I guess, not God level, but it's definitely above dragon level, and I don't think many S rank heroes could fight this thing. Okay, and now they start talking about God and Mother Earth and all this stuff, and the Sage Centipede says, we have been sent here to destroy the abominable fist that turned against God by the incarnation of our father, the earth. Now, by abominable fist, is he talking about Garou or Saitama? I think he's talking about Garou here, because Garou flies up and just clashes with him immediately, that kill mode. But he says, the incarnation of our father, the earth. And this kind of ties into my theory that I think there's two gods, like one's on the earth and one's on the moon, or perhaps the one on the moon is a god that's out in the distance and communicating through space with people on various planets or something like that. So I'm a little bit confused as to like what exactly is going on. We also have, in the incarnation of our mother, the ocean, suffer divine retribution and destruction, as we see evil natural ocean is about to go ham and just start destroying everything. So I still believe that there's some tie to Earth and the monster god, but there's also the cubes, and there's also this god on the moon granting people power, and like, why is he trying to represent Blast to give Tatsumaki power? I mean, so many questions. Finally, Garou just charges in and starts clashing, and it looks like he's doing damage, but I don't know that for sure. So we'll have to see, but I think they're gonna try and represent how strong Garou has become in this arc by showing us how strong Elder Centipede was way earlier in the arc, and now just showing this new monster who's definitely way stronger than Elder Centipede. This is like Elder Centipede's boss, and Garou's gonna take him out single-handedly, or maybe Saitama just punches him, and then Garou and Saitama will fight. So we're very, very, very close to the Saitama versus Garou fight. It may even begin in the next chapter, depending on what happens with Evil Natural Water and Sage Centipede. They're supposed to be representing the Earth and the ocean. Were these creatures given power by God to represent Earth and the ocean? Like, what exactly is good? There's so many theories. I want to know what you guys think in the comments below, but damn, I love this chapter. I mean, it was confusing almost in a sense because it just gives us so many new questions, but the whole concept of this intergalactic cosmic war between the Avengers with Blast on it versus the monster gods out in space, like, it's given me a tent in my pants. This was a blessing of a chapter. Thank you, Murata. Real quick before I end the video, the Demon Rush manga, I am finally getting the print done, and as you can see, it looks very, very nice. So this will be out very soon, but I will make a video, obviously, letting you guys know about the Demon Rush manga, when you can purchase it, when it's out. Not yet, but probably in about a week or so. So yeah, here's the back. This is the author copy that I got done from Amazon, but I need to make some like minor changes to it and stuff. Anyways, guys, thanks for the support and watching the video. Please leave a thumbs up. I really want to know your comments and your theories in the video in the description down below. Maybe I can talk about those in the next video, and I'll see you soon for some more. Peace.